What's up, guys? So I figured I would go ahead and do a video reviewing basically my thoughts on the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super, using my tweets to kind of document my thoughts. So if you follow me on Twitter, you already know what I think about what happened, but I figured I would go about it in a little bit greater detail here on YouTube. So the first thing that I noticed was this panel right here. I guess it does kind of reveal what one of the questions they got from Zuno was, but the fact that they're making a big deal out of him having the radar and knowing the spell to summon the dragon tells me that they want you to remember this for future reference. I don't think Elec is done making wishes yet. So these panels right here, I noticed how Gas, he tells Elec that he was just fine the way he is, and Elec kind of pushes the wish off on Gas like it's something that he wants, when that's obviously not the case. It's something that Elec wants. And I have a feeling that this is going to be a future dynamic. I have a feeling that Gas is actually going to be Elec's biggest mistake. Like Elec is supposed to be this like extremely intelligent character who's like got everything factored in and he knows exactly what he's doing. But I think his confidence and his power to manipulate Gas is more than likely going to be his downfall based on these few panels right here. Yeah, so I thought it was very interesting that Vegeta was so concerned whether or not Bardock defeated Gas or not. I guess he really wanted to know, because it blew his mind when he met Goku back in the day, and Goku was, a low-level Saiyan, and yet he managed to keep up with Vegeta. So the idea that Vegeta's interest is piqued when it comes to Bardock is interesting to me. I was happy to see that Goku was happy to hear that Bardock won, but I think it's interesting that they are really playing on this relationship between Bardock and Vegeta. As we see in this chapter later on, whenever he talks to Granola, Vegeta really values someone who has the pride to keep facing the problems head on. So I guarantee you that if Vegeta found out that Bardock was the last Saiyan who stood up to Frieza, it would blow his mind. So I feel like the reason they are highlighting, the sky getting dark the way they are, is because it's going to happen again. I feel like later on in the story, they're all going to be going through this dramatic episode, and then the sky is going to go dark again. And what I predict is going to happen, Gas is about to execute Monito whenever the sky goes dark, and Gas knows that Elec had the password for the Dragon Balls and the radar, so he would be the only person who would be capable of summoning the dragon again. So, because you got to remember that Gas is ready to kill. He's ready to wipe all these dudes out. And I just think it would make a lot of sense that right before he takes out Monito, the sky goes dark, and that kind of causes Gas to hesitate. So you can see the look on Elec's face here. He's kind of freaked out now that he's seen the dragon. You can kind of see the lust in his eyes. And, the reason I expected a betrayal on Elec's, part was because I thought it was just kind of unrealistic and wild for Elec to find the Dragon Balls twice and make two wishes. But now that I'm seeing the chapter, it doesn't actually seem that far-fetched to me anymore. It seems like that's exactly what's going to happen, to be honest with you. And I like the idea that Elec wishing for Gas to be the strongest has the potential to be the wish that really screws him over. I'm really enjoying Maki as a character. I think she's a great addition. She's definitely the mouth of the crew, and I definitely enjoy her vibe. I also enjoy Oil's vibe too. The more that the manga passes, the more I start to appreciate the Heaters because they have a gag feel to them. They have a joke, a cartoon feel to them. Case in point, this whole Tada thing where they show off Gas. That's the kind of vibes that I like from them. It's just they're evil, but they're also kind of silly, and I just think that's super cool. And Gas looks dope. It was totally worth me being wrong about Gas getting the wish to see him how he is now. I just love the way he looks as an adult. His personality, it just fits way more whenever he's tall and lanky and strong. So I noticed a lot of people didn't talk about the fact that Oatmeal was the one piloting the ship, and Gas just split the ship in half. So it's got me thinking, is Oatmeal okay? I guess we'll find out in the next chapters. But I also wanted to point out that I really like the idea of Gas creating things and Granola and Vegeta being able to destroy things. I think that's a really cool parallel. So Monaito having faith in Goku, who just so happens to be his savior from the past son, to save his own son. Like all of the like connections here between Goku and Monaito, like I really dig it. Like they have some really deep connections. It actually takes you a second to sit and think about all the way these two characters are connected. Like Goku's relationship with the Nameks, it's wild. I like the way Toyotaro did this whole number where he caused the pages to go from white to black to like signify a flashback. I thought that was really creative. But after reading this, after seeing the flashback, it's got me wondering, like, what exactly did this little guy do to like build a name for himself as a bounty hunter? You know what I mean? Like, who did he wipe out? Like, Alec even says like he can get him off the planet, and it's just, I don't know. The more I think about it, who exactly would Granola have the opportunity to bounty hunt? You know what I mean? Maybe people coming to the planet to endanger the Sugarians, or everyone on the planet. Who knows? But I just thought that was kind of odd. So I know a lot of people talked about how funny this panel is, but I think they kind of overlooked that Goku in this moment is handing the reins over to Vegeta, which is really interesting because it kind of signifies how much Goku has like gained of understanding of how important this all is for Vegeta. So Gas's powers in combination with his personality, in my opinion, is just genius. Like, he's very serious, he's very cruel, he's merciless, and yet he has these cartoony abilities, like Danny Geekdom 101, he compared it to Looney Tunes, and I agree. Like, it's got a very Looney Tunes vibe, and it's just I enjoy it. Like, I'm really digging Gas way more than I thought I would. So these are the main panels or pages that I really wanted to talk about. So this really highlights what the intentions are for Vegeta's character moving forward, because Granola, when he showed his resolve against Vegeta, that was actually evidence to Vegeta that Granola had what it takes as a mortal to impress him, So that whole idea is very interesting to me. And because he is an example of a mortal that Vegeta would appreciate, the idea that he wants him to take his own power and settle his grudge, kind of like Vegeta's wanted to do his whole life, is really cool to me. But another parallel that I think people kind of overlooked was the fact that Vegeta, in the past, it's only ever been important to him to pass his Saiyan pride on to other Saiyans. Like he's only ever been concerned with Saiyans having the same sense of pride that he has. You know what I mean? And Bardock, he originally just cared about saving Saiyans, and he was only compassionate towards his own kind. So there's a really cool parallel here that people were overlooking. But Bardock grew to become compassionate for everyone, and Vegeta has grown to want all species to have the same pride as a warrior as he does, and that's going forward is going to be the theme of Vegeta's character. He's going to improve characters in a similar way that Goku does through his, tough love, quote unquote. And the fact that Bardock and Vegeta both had aspects of their personalities that only applied to the Saiyans first, eventually apply to, other species as well, is a really nice touch. I think that's something people were overlooking, and I think it's really cool. And it also shows, like, if Vegeta was a destroyer, what exactly it would take for you to impress him and be worthy of existence, So, and I've had that idea in the past, I already kind of knew that this was where this was going, but to see it, like, on the pages themselves was a treat. So, going forward, I think probably what's going to end up happening here is I think Granola is not going to have what it takes to defeat Gas. Because that will show significance in the idea of training to Granola from Goku and Vegeta in the future. I also think the reason that they called attention to Granola's ship being destroyed is because they want to call attention to the fact that they're all stranded on the planet as of now. Because if you remember, they were Goku and Vegeta was brought there by the Heaters, so something is going to happen where they need to get off the planet. And what I think is going to end up happening, I think Alec will end up wishing for all the intel in the universe. he will get a jump on everyone else and learn that Frieza will be on the way there soon, and that his intentions are to just destroy the planet. And they will leave Goku, Vegeta, and Granola behind to be destroyed by Frieza, and it'll then be up to Goku and Vegeta to give Granola pointers to better himself so that he can defeat Gas and get his revenge before his 3 years are up. That's where I see this going. I see like this interesting like Goku and Vegeta helping Granola improve and Granola helping Goku and Vegeta improve through training dynamic coming, which is pretty cool. It's interesting that they're going the direction they are with Vegeta and Granola, where Granola will probably end up being convinced by the end of this arc that it wasn't the Saiyan's destiny to be destroyed along with Vegeta. They're going to grow together and they're going to learn that together. I think that's a very interesting dynamic. And I really like the idea that Granola is going to help Goku create his own fighting style and work together so that he's a better martial artist. So yeah, the direction that they're going with this arc, I'm really enjoying. It's definitely Toyotaro getting to live every Dragon Ball fanboy's dream and creating a character that is not only connected to Goku and Vegeta, but the entirety of Dragon Ball. And this is just like a fantasy for him. Like, I'm so happy for him. Like, the idea that he gets to create this character and do all this stuff, like, it's a dream. And, you know, I think it's something we should appreciate, especially because Toriyama is nice enough to help basically his biggest fan do this in his story. And the way that they're going about it is very creative, very enjoyable. I love it. The Granola arc's been great so far. I'm still getting some very heavy Star Wars vibes from this. I'll definitely talk about that again at some point. The chapter wasn't super eventful, but I enjoyed every second of it. I'm glad they're kind of slowing down the pace a bit. So I really enjoyed the chapter. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on it. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.